I'm really leaning into this like vampy look, but you know what? I'm really feeling it. Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and I'm the Viet Vegan because I'm Vietnam vegan, and today we're making soup. I'm hosting a Friendsgiving soup bar and I'm making a lot of soup, so I've been working on these recipes. I thought, you know what, instead of hoarding them all for a soup ebook, which I never ended up doing, I'm gonna share them with you because it's just right. Here is the recipe I've been working on. This is like a kale, lentil, chunky stew with like lots of like hearty tomato goodness, but also like stewy, I don't know, a little spice, a little flavor, you know? It's delicious. As I have said many times before, I love soup. I don't know what it is. Soup is just like a perfect food. You know, it can be creamy, it can be chunky, it can be like hearty. There's like so many different ways you can go about it. And it's a really good way to get all of your like necessary food groups in one. Good time. Let's just make some soup. Turn on the fire. I really hope everything will fit in this pot. Yeah, we've got a lot of ingredients going on. So we have lots of cilantro. So if you have like a head of cilantro and you used a little bit for like a Mexican dish, but you're like, oh my God, what do I do with the rest of it? You're gonna use it for this recipe, that's what you're gonna do. I also have like a lentil patty that uses a lot of cilantro too, if you need more reasons to use cilantro. I like cilantro a lot. You can leave it out if you want to, but I think it adds a nice little freshness to this recipe. So I have kale, but I also have the stems of the kale cut up because, you know, they're nutritious too, and they add lots of like body to this soup. I'm just breaking up this one piece that I discovered did not get totally cut up. We're gonna add some vegetable oil, about like a tablespoon of vegetable. You know what, I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Let's add some onion. Now for this soup, because it's like gonna be chunky, I'm not blending anything, I like to cut everything pretty fine to be about the same size as like cooked barley in the end. One of the great things about soup too is that because you make so much, you can either freeze it for later or fill up a little mason jar and give it to a friend. You know, sharing is caring. A lot of my friends have been having babies lately, so every now and then, to make their life a little easier, I just send them along a big old jar of soup. Any solid soup recipe starts with a little onion, because it adds like body, sweetness, complexity and flavor, a little sweet, a little savory. It's really satisfying to cut onions with like a nice sharp knife. I don't sharpen my knife very often. I should sharpen it more. I know people who sharpen it every single time they cook. Excuse me, you're too good. You need to simmer down. Just kidding, you do you. But I mean, I don't sharpen my knives that much. I have also friends who don't sharpen their knives at all. I like to think that I'm a balance between the two, you know? I just sharpen it anytime I'm like, cutting this tomato is a little difficult. Let's give it a little sharpie sharp. If you're someone who can't watch the entire video and you just want the ingredients, hey, I got you. I got the whole list of ingredients, the whole freaking recipe in the blog post below. So once you've got the onions sort of like the bottom starting to brown, they're translucent, there's some bits that are starting to brown, you're gonna add in your garlic. So this is about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, minced. You know what, you can amp it up to 5 or 6, you do you. More garlic, more better. I'm also gonna add some chopped up ginger. This is about 1 inch of ginger, just finely minced. You can also use ginger powder if you want to, but I find real ginger just gives it a little extra pep. And this is where we're gonna start adding some of our spices. I'm taking too long, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of water. Deglaze the pan, chill it out a little bit, you know? Be like, hey, give me a little extra time. And that way you lift a lot of that flavor off the bottom so it doesn't just burn. All right, we're gonna do a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of onion powder or granulated onion. I have onion powder. Boom. A teaspoon of garlic powder. Boom. So a teaspoon, actually a half teaspoon of coriander. Now you give everything a stir, cook up those spices. A little heat, a little oil gives them a little extra flavor, you know what I'm saying? All right, when you see it kind of sticking to the bottom like that again, a little bit more water. Lifting up those spices. We're also gonna add our concentrated vegetable paste. You can just use straight up vegetable bouillon later, but this is about 1.5 tablespoons, about a teaspoon of tomato paste. Stir that in. You get a nice wet mixture. Now we're gonna add our jalapenos. This is 3 chopped up jalapenos. You can leave the seeds in if you like it spicy. It's not gonna be that spicy. Unlike the spice meter, it's like a 2 or 3, I don't know, medium spicy. So this is 3 jalapenos. I took out the pith, and you know what? I'm gonna add in the seeds. So from 3 jalapenos, it ended up being like about a tablespoon of jalapeno seeds. You stir that in. Then you're gonna add your kale stem. And it's pretty tough, so I like to cut it down like pretty thin so that it gets really cooked down. Now we're gonna add our tomatoes. Let's add this in. Tomatoes! Wah! Stirring that in, looking good, looking good. And now we basically just dump the rest in. So we have some lentils, rinsed and drained. Excuse me. Hey, get in the pot. I already rinsed them, so they kind of, they got a little congealed. Hey, get in the pot. There we go. Release yourself from this glass bowl so that we can eat you up. And we're also gonna add some barley. I love barley. If you wanna keep this gluten-free, leave out the barley. Put in quinoa instead. And then you just give everything a stir. Break up those lentils. To cook all those lentils and barley, you're gonna need some water. So I have here about 5 cups of water. Now you let this cook for about 20 minutes to cook the lentils and the barley, stirring occasionally. You can also do this recipe in an Instant Pot. I just find it doesn't like caramelize as much. It doesn't have that like depth of flavor. And we're gonna leave this kale and this cilantro closer to like the last like 5 or 6 minutes of the cooking. So I'll see you in 20 minutes so we can add this and I can clean this up and maybe film a different video in the meantime. All right, so we've got our soup cooking. All of the lentils and the barley have like really cooked down. Everything's like a little yellow because of the turmeric, but it's okay. It's good for you. Because I cook this over the stove instead of in the Instant Pot, a lot of the liquid actually kind of came out. So I wanna add some more liquid back in. So if you're using an Instant Pot, stick with the 5 cups of water. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. This is about 2 cups of water, just to give it a little bit more, more room to work with, you know? So we're gonna add in all of this kale. Just mash it down. You know what, maybe I'm not gonna add all this kale. I say 2 stems, 4 cups of kale. Huh, well, that's significantly less than what I've cut here. This is about like 8 cups of kale. So we're just gonna stick with my original recipe and add 4 cups of kale. And while that's cooking, we're gonna add in the cilantro. This is about 1 cup of cilantro. I'm very glad I added extra water. So you just stir it all in until it cooks down. It's so colorful and pretty. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. It's about another cup of water. And then because I added so much water, it's going to inevitably be a little bit more bland. So we're gonna pretend that I added in veggie broth by adding more of this stuff in. If you have more stock, just use stock. I don't because I just keep this. Stir everything in. I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper. Because I have turmeric in there, I wanna make the curcumin and the turmeric a little bit more bioavailable by adding in some black pepper. Now you can add the kale like at the beginning. You'll just have like kind of dead colored kale. I like to add it towards the end because then it's like colorful, it's still green, it still has a little bit of like chew to it, but if you want it to like be totally like melt in your mouth kale, add it in the beginning. It'll turn like a dead green color, but it's still good, I promise. So much cilantro flavor. It's surprisingly really fresh. I don't know why that's surprising to me. I love the chunks of tomato. It's just a good old time. I kind of thought the tomatoes would break down a little bit more, but they did not. But that's okay. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of salt. It's about like half a teaspoon of salt maybe. Nah, it's like a 1/4 teaspoon, not even. There you have it, some hearty stew. It's delicious, it's savory. There's a lot of fresh flavor in there despite it being like really hearty. It's really filling and just like a kick of spice. It's super good. So I have the recipe in the link down below on my blog, thevietvegan.com. Let me know if you guys make this. Be sure to tag me on social. I'm the Viet Vegan pretty much everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I'll see it eventually. I almost try to respond and comment and like all of the shares that you guys do. If you guys just do hashtag the Viet Vegan, I'll see it like months later, but I will like it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, comment down below what kind of soup you want me to make next, because I'll probably make some more soup if I'm not souped out by this, but let's be real, I'm almost never souped out. Hit that subscribe button if you want more videos and recipes like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a delicious day. Bye! Enjoy this stew. I just want another bite. It's so good. Give me more. Hey, chill out. Hey. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. That's not how I end things.